Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, B-Funk, out here in my lab where I got to strap up to do what I got to do, save on some heat conditions, so I had to make an adjustment. Right now, I'm in the Antarctic, but guess what? I'm dressed for it. I come here to do what I do for you. That ain't gonna stop me. The cold ain't gonna stop me from doing what I do. So let's do what we do. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. You know what we do. Let's go. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a high spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life, through spiritual and mental discipline practice daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is to get all right thinkers to know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get it together. So I'll ask the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. It's rhetorical, but if not an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. Yeah, that's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my be true. Ooh, I got a few pages of schematics and concepts we dealing with the mind, okay? Right thinkers, let's talk about the human mind, right thinkers, and its relationship to the what? Self, aka what we call universal soul, but ours is the individual soul. And universal soul is where all individual souls come from. I got to break down for all those concepts for you. There's about 4 or 5 pages of information. I'm going to show you some schematics and break it down for you, starting with this one here. This is the soul. This is you. Okay? The outer part is your body. Inner part is what runs the body, what? Conscious, subconscious, and your unconscious. When you reach the unconscious state of the casual level, that's where the soul resides. That's where God dwells. It hides in man. That's why they call him the hidden one. He's there. You got to find him with consciousness. You got to learn and understand. Believing ain't gonna get you to God. Knowing and experiencing, manifesting, that's how you know God. You can't tell me God don't exist. You can say what you want. You can't tell me that. You can't convince me of that. Why? I know better. You might can convince somebody who believe in God, but somebody who know God, you can't change them. I can tell my mother-in-law, a team of wild MFs couldn't pull me away from what I know to be God of my understanding. Might be your understanding about God. That's on you. But don't let nobody deter you from what you know. So let's talk about the self. Everything in the mind is all about you. The Hermetic principles, 7 of them. First one is, it's all mental. Even emotions are mental. So let's talk about it. I just showed you a diagram of a 2-dimensional schematic drawing of the human mind, symbolically, conceptually, and its relationship to what? The self, or what we know to be the soul, spirit, God, whatever it is. So use the soul for now. Okay, let's talk about it. The physical body is this. What runs the body is me right now being conscious. So right now I'm conscious of my action. I'm conscious of what I'm saying, what I'm thinking, what I'm doing. I'm in a conscious state. The subconscious is what runs my body. My heart beats on its own. My digestive system runs. All organs is run by your subconscious. That's who's in control of the body. Now, your unconscious state. That's where all the stuff that hang around and you don't really know when you go to sleep. That's where you go to. Okay? And when you get good at it, you'll go to that unconscious state when you reach what? Yourself, your higher self. Meditation helps that while you're not asleep. When you go there to sleep, you don't know that. Why? Because you're asleep, so you ain't aware of it. But the idea is to get there consciously. So let's talk about that. Most people look at their body, thoughts, and feeling and say, this is me. Yeah, most people, unenlightened people. But enlightened people, conscious people, in reality, a human being is in reality what? A complex organism that's composed of what? Conscious mind, subconscious mind, and an unconscious mind. These form your what they call personality, or you, the person that you have come to know yourself to be, with what? Your particular taste, your family association, religion you practice, and your social affiliations, etc. Understanding. Underlying all of this is what they call your universal consciousness. That's the true self. That's God. Okay? When you reach him within yourself, that's called enlightenment. In religious, consciousness, universal consciousness, which is what? Like an ocean. On the surface of this ocean is the personality, and supporting it is what? Is the ocean of what? Conscious, true conscious, the self, absolute conscious, the know-all. The project of right thinking philosophy on the spiritual life and the daily meditation practice, you getting this, is to go deep where? Into this ocean of yourself, to know yourself by what? Controlling your mind with its thoughts, desires, etc. But to surface through what? Your various practice of right thinking philosophy, aka yoga disciplines. The more you learn about yourself, the better you get at understanding yourself. That's the purpose of knowing thyself. Just thinking you're a human being, that's way low thinking. Okay, let me take you to the next level. I'm going to show you. At the top represents the universal soul. See the dot? Remember, the dot represents God. Okay, that's the spirit. You see how it goes in all directions? All individual souls still have what? The universal soul in them. The individual makes us human. We all have our own opportunity to reach the level of what? Knowing thyself. Human beings, we're here. This is a lesson. This is school. To what? Raise your conscious level in the human form. Why? Because when the human form dies, now you go to the next level. If you don't get aware of yourself, you're going to keep coming back in human form. It's called recycling, it's called reincarnation, whatever. But that's the name of the game, and it's been played for a long time. It haven't changed. We call it the matrix. We see it simulation. We're in a hologram. Whatever you see it, whatever you feel it, you have to make a decision to what? Know thyself for yourself, no matter what they call it. So that's the name. The universal soul is the source of all individual souls, God. So now, the distractions of the soul in the world of human experience, right there. We come in a human form ignorant of who we are consciously. Spiritually, we know myself, I. That's the ego. Sorry, excited, trying to make the point. But when you come into human form, we fall from spirit into matter. We are human. And this leads to what? Mental impressions, which are based on your external reality, which is the physical world, because the body is limited to the senses: smell, sight, hearing, touching and tasting. That's how the mind signal, the body signal information to the mind, So the mind got to go by the physicality. But when the body is at rest, the mind goes elsewhere. Astral projection, okay, dream world. But the mind is free to go anywhere it wants. So that's what it's all about, understanding how to control that. And in the physical world, reality, and you know what? The mental impressions, which are based on external reality, which is the physical reality, and on ignorance of the truth. We're all born ignorant. All of us. Nobody came here knowing who the hell we are. We all had to start out like that. Some of us learn and go. Some of us don't and keep coming back. So to learn you're ignorant to the truth and your higher soul reality. When you don't know yourself. Again, Our ancients knew that. I know that for a fact. They knew, and they knew a lot of stuff. But they had to figure out how we can get a message to the next generations. And know thyself was it. I caught it, I got it, and I'm running with it. Trust me. These impressions will lead the mind to what? Experience desires, thoughts, and aspirations, which will lead a human being to what? Human experiences and more desires and more distractions unless they what? Become enlightened to who? Themselves. If you think the world and everything in it, this is all, okay, well, you get caught up in the material world. They know that. That's called being ignorant of your higher self. And that's all ego. Now, your desires, born of ignorance, again, cannot, and hear me again, cannot and will ever be satisfied through the mind and the senses. Why? Because these are all limited and the experience are what? Fleeting for the moment. Get the concept? No matter how long they last during a person's life, what that means? They are only transient. That new car, that big bank account, all that money, being rich and famous, all that is transient. It's good for the experience, but guess what? It's all fleeting. You can't take a damn thing with you. No matter how long the life during this past experience, but now since what? Since the desires of the mind and of ignorance can never be fulfilled, now what happens? Your soul is now led by what? Those experiences. And it likes it. Mikey likes it. That means what? He's going to repeat the situations, even though the frustrations and what comes with that, mental unrest and further away, they're being pushed further away from what? Their inner peace of what? The true self, where? Within. If you're looking for God outside of yourself, you ain't never going to find him. And religions tell you God is outside you. That's why I don't practice none of them. The individual soul of every human being is what? Is in reality seeking what? The wholeness of its peace and its true nature, aka itself. It wants to know who it is. Sorry. AKA the universal soul. Where? Within. However, due to the ignorance, your search for fulfilling what? Your pleasures of the flesh, your desires of the mind leads it to what? Countless situations in the realm of human experience. Reincarnation. Okay, you're going to live, go through the cycle, don't get enlightened, do things to satisfy the flesh, do things to make you happy, die, and come back and do it again. That's the concept. That's what we're living in. But which in turn, what? That leads to what? More human experiences. And that is what they call the endless cycle, which continues even after death and causes what? Your soul to do what? Return to human form again and again. Again until what? It realizes it don't care. And watch this. In a futile effort to what? Satisfy its desires of the flesh. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. Won't happen. Based on pure ignorance. Our main problem as the people is our ignorance of what? Who we are. And we got people telling us, we got people misleading us, but we don't do our own due diligence to make that happen for ourselves. My job is to get you to do that for yourself. I ain't trying to do nothing except to get you to do the work you need to do to know yourself. That's the name of my game. And these teachings, what I got, of the cycles of birth and death, we know, which every individual soul experience, no exceptions, and it's known as the doctrine of, you ready? Karma and reincarnation. Why? Your karma would dictate if you're going to go or come back. So the karma is the cause, the effect is what happens after you do it. Your IRE will dictate what you do. They try to lay it out, and they got it laid out perfect. I'm just trying to take you through it. This is how I got it. I'm trying to give it to you so you can understand it, so you can do it for yourself. Now let's move over here. Another schematic, okay? And it shows you everything that's in the middle. The good stuff is in the middle for some reason. Can you see that? Can't get it clear on here. Okay, yeah. The self, always in the middle. The dot, that's always the dot right here. When it's around the bottom, first of all, thoughts. When you think of something, it starts in the heart. And what this is, desire. You want to fulfill that thought. If that thought is bad, that means the desire is going to be for what that thought is bad. Next one is what? What's this here? Oh, this is the veil of ignorance. We are born with this veil of ignorance of self. You got to break that veil. That means practice, I said in my philosophy, to break the veil of what? Of ignorance. Lack of knowledge of self. I hear in the Bible, it says, my people are being destroyed through lack of knowledge. If that's in the Bible, it's been over 2,000 years. Come on, people. We still ain't put knowledge and self-knowledge on the agenda of priority of things to do to teach our young. Really? I am. Moving on. Now, I just showed you a schematic of a two-dimensional schematic, a drawing of the human existence. Again, the self, which is the spirit with this thing. You're ignorant of who you are, but you have desires and you have thoughts. That's the human being. That's what they rely on. That's what they do. Until what? They raise their conscious level from the physical to the mental by breaking the ignorance of what? Knowledge of self. Spiritual enlightenment takes care of that. The dimension of schematic drawing human existence. The self always assumes what? The role of every individual soul. And through what? The veil of ignorance, experiences, desires, thoughts, and life as a human individual being. That's how human call it human experience. The spirit is here to have that experience. They have to. Why? To get to the next level. That's why. So why am I here? Oh, don't worry. A few times round and round, you might figure it out. All right, another schematic. Here we go. I said I got a couple more pages to go. But you see the arrow's always pointing up. Okay, you see me always pointing up? You see me doing that? Because the head, everything's upstairs. That's heaven. Your head is heaven. Your bottom of your feet is hell. They call it the heel. See the body there? You see on the side where it says egoism? These are the traits of an egoistic person, okay? These are qualities of a Satanian person, and these are the levels I'm going to talk to you about right quick before I move on to the next one. So let's deal with this right quick. This is called the meditative state for the transcendental self. You want to reach the top, the top. You want to transcend your mind and your body. Transcend the mind and all bodies, excuse me. The casual body, the spirit that's in the physical body. The astral body, the mindset that controls the body. The waking body, that's us, the physical part. Let's start right there. Imdue, because we are ignorant of our higher self. All we do know is ourself. Me, I. Me, myself, and I get a concept of three conscious level. Me is the physical, and you are ignorant. That's the waking state of consciousness. But due to the veil of ignorance, you're going to be desirous of pleasure, carnal pleasures, and if you get caught up in that, you're going to like those things. So you're going to continue to do those things, and when you don't get what you want, you're going to exhibit anger. When that means you don't get your way, you get angry. And when people are doing better than you, you get what? You show hate. You don't congratulate. You hate people for them achieving things in life because of what? Your greed and your jealousy. If you can't appreciate somebody else's success, that's jealousy. And if you just want everything for you, that's greed. And those are all low-level states of mind. Low vibrational people. Those are users. Those are people who lie, cheat, steal. Why? To get what they want from anybody, whoever they can. Avoid those people. They're toxic. Okay? And that's the physical body. And the body consciousness is full of what? Bad things. Impure qualities. This person is not good. That's what makes people who they are. Watch this. Now, understand this. I love this. The soul is a prisoner of its own ignorance. Let me say it again. All souls are coming here are ignorant of their what? Prisoners of their own ignorance. Why? Lack of knowledge. They don't know who they are. But now in this condition, it is a fettered. It's fettered with the chains of what? Ignorance to what? An existence where it has no control over its fate in life. Why? You living willy-nilly. You ain't got no focus. You ain't in control of your destiny. No, you destined to come back. Reincarnation, that's your destiny to come back. You ain't in charge of that. Well, you are, but you have no idea. And the purpose of each virtue, practice, righteous, virtue, those virtues are to what? To remove the fetters. The smarter you get, the wiser you get, the better you get, the less fetish you commit. Why? Due to your ignorance. Once you get knowledge of self, you no longer going to do things that's going to hurt you. I know I don't. That's doing the right thing. Why? If it's not good for me, I'm not going to do it. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. Why? They ain't good for me. I wasn't always like that. I used to do all that stuff. Once you know better, you should do better. That's the idea of self-knowledge. When you know better, it's all up to you now. Ain't what somebody, no, you know better. If you choose to do what you know better than, you got to pay the consequences. It don't change. Mr. Clark, no exceptions. All right, let me wrap this up with the supreme self. This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. I just showed you the fettered. Now, let's show you, okay, there's one more side with the fettered mind. Let me show you the spiritual mind, the enlightened mind. Now, these are all concepts and qualities within every individual that you control, that you can take control of. Watch this. The supreme spirit, the fettered mind, meaning it's ignorant and it's full of delusion and it's caused by what? Egoism, me, myself. Don't know jack, but it's all about that. How about you? I'm a student of life. I want to learn how to live. So I became a student. When I learned what I need to learn for myself, I have self-mastery. Now I got the right to what? Teach others. Why? Because I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to this. Moving on. But your egoism and your physical desires, your cravings, your anger, your hatred, your greed and jealousy, all those things will hold you right here on earth. You can't extend. You can't ascend. You can't get better. Why? You live on your lower nature. That's what they call it. And watch this. The fetters are like cloud, which cloud the mind, and your higher vision, third eye, is not visible. It's calcified. Most people have a clue what the third eye is. That's the internal eye. These two to see outward. What you see inside yourself. Yeah, see? You can't see yourself because you don't know yourself. When you get that vision, that's self-knowledge. That's when you know thyself. And the intellect. You can't be an ignorant God follower. Why? You got to know God and have to experience Him by doing things on the right level. That's how you get blessed. And your intellect is what? Dull. Is the reason why you fail. And your delusions and grandeur, your mental weakness, and your emotionality, lack of control of the mind, and it prevents a person, you, from seeing what beyond their meager individual, more to existence. I'm human, I'm just a human being, and when this life is over, that's it. And nobody ever came back and told us about blah, 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 blah. Ignorance. I'm starting to know it with ignorance. If you don't know something, just be good with that, and you might be able to learn something. But if you believe something and start spouting out what you believe, I don't give a damn what you believe. What do you know? Excuse me. And obviously, you don't know yourself. So you're ignorant. Moving on. Oh, you want people? No, I want people to understand who they help and what they're talking about. If they're going to talk to me, I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking to you. The mind is a fog of thoughts. Just running wild. Okay, no control. Meditation helps you get that under control, and the feelings, the ego, that me, I, which blocks the vision of your higher self. As long as you're egoistic, you're never going to raise your consciousness. You're never going to be a better person. You're always going to be me. That's the ego. No godly in it. Ego, I have no God. Now, here we go. There we go. I got a few more minutes. I'm going to wrap it up. These 2 pages right here, I want to get a little mental picture. Okay? This is where you want to end up. I'm taking you right here now. This is the purified mind. I just gave a lesson how to purify the heart in the Maya philosophy. Now I'm going to show you how to purify the mind from a spiritual concept. They go together. The supreme self, which is reside up in your head. The preferred mind is what? You are content. You show detachment. You have peace and fortitude. You live a righteous life, and you acquire wisdom through the experience of doing those things. That's how it comes. Now, through the daily practice of what? Mystical right thinking philosophy, spirituality, your mind is purified. So what? That your mental calm is now possible. You can think clear. All right? Through this calm, spiritual sensitivity now grows, and what? And your higher self is what? Discovered. In much the same way, watch this, as a pair of glasses Okay, oh, I can't do that 'cause I can't see jack. But watch this. I want to give a little visual, but that ain't gonna work. Excuse me. But your higher self is discovered in much the same way as a pair of glasses are what found on one's head. Looking for my glasses, they right here on my head. That never happened to me, but that's the concept. But watch, and they were always there. See, but the mental distraction and the agitation had blocked what your perception of your presence. Right now, you all caught up in what happened before. You caught up in what could happen in the future and missing the now. Okay, the mind becomes what a thin mist through which an enlightened human being what sees what spirit in all things. You becoming one with God, and everything here is God. So I don't step on animal. I don't step on. That's how close I am to nature now. You have a different opinion or feeling about certain things. Why? Let it live. Let it live. I didn't used to could care less. So there's a change in my attitude. There's a change in how I think, what I feel, and how I live. So wrapping it up. There you go. The Supreme Self. Whenever you see a man in yoga position like this, he's getting into himself. Okay? He's finding himself within himself, not outside himself. Okay? Let's wrap it up. This is where you want to be. The Supreme Self, aka your cosmic mind. You're connecting with. Before I give it away, let me just read it for you. A few more lessons right here. The object of all yoga, right thinking philosophy, and your discipline is to what? Purify your mind. Why? So that it can now achieve a transcendental vision through what? Daily practice of meditation. That's what he's doing daily, okay? And what he's doing now is purifying what? His individual ego mind. He raises his conscious level to connect with what? His cosmic mind, his higher self, his true self. It takes work, and meditation is that work. If you're not meditating, how you know God? Where's your godly? Where's your understanding of God? Because that's the communication that God does with those who know how to do just that. It's a mental thing. Okay? So, but with right thinking philosophy, now the objective of right thinking philosophy and meditation is to what? Is to unite your individual mind with your cosmic mind. Cosmic mind is God. The universal mind is God. The mortal, which is human, with the eternal, which is spirit. The individual with the universe, aka becoming one with God or knowing thyself. That's the whole goal of right thinking philosophy. That's the goal of meditation. So that's the lesson. I'll be back with more. But if you're not meditating, you're not getting closer to God. I'm just saying, well, yeah, you got to meditate. Why? That's how you communicate with God. Simple as that. That's the purpose. That's the reason. I got more information for you. But in closing, right thinkers, may y'all let it be 100, me, 100 minus a day. So I never know that my right thinking has passed away. Remember, meditation helps you in the next life. I'm out.